Hey, welcome to another video on web forum website in Laravel. So in last video we created a tag filter, where we can filter these threads by these tag names. So currently we are showing all threads, so Laravel is specific threads, and yeah, like this. So in future we might want to add some more features, like we want to filter the threads by user, by their popularity and others. So currently what we are doing, so if we go to thread controller, so here inside index method, so we are checking if it has this tag. So currently we are filtering by the tag ID. So if it has tag, then first we are finding tags, and then we are grabbing the threads, and we are passing it to index view. So yeah, so what we can do here, let's see. So instead of doing all this, what we can directly do is just like this: thread where has. So this will check the existence of relationship. So where has, the relationship name is tags, and then we have to execute the query. So function query, so query where tag ID. So yeah, inside this closure request is not available, so let's use request. Okay, so now we're fine, so we can do get. Okay, so this should work fine. Let's check. Alright, so that's working. So I can just remove these two lines. Okay, so now if you see, we are just filtering with these tags. So we might want to filter with user ID and others. So for example, if we keep adding, like, else if this request has, or we can check if user request has user ID, then filter with user ID, and we keep adding those. So for a small project, that's fine. So as the filters grow up, this method will get bloated. So what we can do instead is, so let me just comment this. So what I want to do is I want to do like this. So threads equals to thread filter. So I want to call the filter, and I want to pass the request, and then I want to get or paginate, whatever. Okay, so I want to look this controller. I want this controller to look like this instead of doing all this here. So always try to make your controller with less line of code. Don't just put everything here. So since we are using this filter, we need to define this filter. So currently this is query scope. So if you don't know about query scope, you can read on documentation. So generally this is the method we define in our this thread model, which accepts the query and pass in whatever we put it here. So let's switch back to threads, and we need to define that method filter. So filter, yeah, filter, but we need to define like this: scope. So that is the convention, you need to define the scope. So this will accept the query by default, and any additional parameter that we pass. So currently we are passing the request, and we need to import this class illuminate HTTP request, and we want to handle all these inside this filter. So let me just scrap this. You can name it filter query. So instead of this, we can do filter query where has, yeah, all this. So alright, so let's return filter query. So this will return this query builder. So this is the instance of Eloquent query builder, and yeah, we are returning it, and here we call the get method. So now if you want to filter it with, for example, user ID, so if you want to filter threads with user ID, you can add one more. So if request filter query where user ID equals to request user. So this is the query builder. So this is just like chaining the where. So if this present, this will, okay, we don't need to do this get. So if we do get, it will just fetch results. So that so if we do get here, we cannot use this filter. Okay, so if it has tags, it will filter tags, and if it also has user, then it will filter with user ID. Alright, so let's test all threads, Laravel specific threads. So now let's pass user ID. So user equals to 1. Okay, user equals to 2. No threads. Let's see, user with ID 3 got 2 threads. Alright, so that filter is working as well. So if you want multiple filters, you can do tags equals to 2. So it will return result if it got filter for tag with ID 1, ID 2, sorry. So let's see if user 1 got, yes, yeah, so that is multiple filter. So from now onward, if you want any filter, if you want to filter the threads with any other parameter, you can just include here. So if request has something, then just just filter it down. So if no filters were used, it will just return the query builder, and we'll do get. So if you want to paginate, just call it paginate here. Okay, so that's totally fine for you have a small to medium project. Also this will just work fine. And if you want to filter any other in your project, like if you want to this is just for threads. So if you want to filter your users or any other model, you need to just use the scope filter in their respective class. So that is the repeating code. So you can make this more reusable by just using the classes for each filter. So for example, all this thread filtering related code should go to ThreadFilters class, and user related filters should go to user filters class. So yeah, so for a small project it is totally fine, so it will just work fine. So if you want to go about more object-oriented approach and reuse your code, you can watch more. So you can just turn off the video if you want. So if you want to learn more, you can just keep on watching. Alright, so what we'll do is, instead of putting it here, I'll put this inside my ThreadFilters class. So let's make that class. And I'll put everything, cut it out from here and put it inside ThreadFilters. So let's comment it out. And what I like to have is, I like to create a new method for each type of filter. So for example, for filtering with tags, so similarly for user filters, I want to call this user, and I would like to put this code related to filters. Okay, so inside this method we don't have access to requests, so I will just assign the request with in constructor. So request, so that will assign the all the request or any parameter we type from our browser, like tags, these parameter to request variable. Similarly, let's create for filters. So this filters, or it can return just this request all. So whatever coming from the request will be filters. So similarly here, so instead of that request we want to use this value. So if you don't understand anything, just bear with me, you'll understand by the end of this video. So this builder, so this builder will be the eloquent query builder, which we haven't defined yet. Okay, so the function is set up. So what we want to do is, we want to have a way to trigger these functions so that we can build the query, this query. So this is just similar to previous one where we build the query inside query scope. So currently we are also doing same thing, but it is inside each method. So currently we need a way to trigger these function to build these queries. So that method will be apply method. Let's call it apply, and it will accept the builder. So that will be the query builder. So eloquent query builder. So you can check out this class, what it does. It just builds the query. So generally where we use where we chain the where, that is just the query builder. So for example, if we do like thread where something equals to something, and again where something equals to something, so doing this will initialize the query builder and we chain that thing. So that is similar to this, but yeah, this is so this can be anything. This can be thread related builder or any tags related, so whatever we pass. So okay, so let's this builder equals to, so we assign this builder to this so that we can use it here. Okay, so we assign this builder to this property so that we can utilize it here. And now what we want to do is we want to loop through these filters. So this filter will be anything that is coming from our browser that user inputs. So let's loop through it. So for each this filters, so I just created this to make it easier. Otherwise you can just reference like this request all in place of these filters. So as the name and value, so the name will be, so in this case the name will be user and value will be 1. Okay, so what we want to do is if method, so generally we can do we can just call this function like this and name of this method, so which will be that so name, and we can pass the parameter as value. So that is it. So that will just do fine, but so if method does not exist, it will throw error. Okay, so to prevent that, what we can do is we can check if method exists, and method exists, we need to pass this and method name, so name. So if that method exists, just call this function. Okay, so now it will not throw error, but if value is empty, for example, if that is just empty, it will pass the empty result. And what we can so in that case, so if tags has some default value like 1, so by default we want to filter the tags with id 1, so that will not work if the value is empty here. So to prevent that, we can just eliminate any spaces or any false value, so that that allows us to use our default behavior here. So we can do array filter. So array filter will just eliminate any false, empty, or any other value that is falsy. So array filter, yeah, like this. Alright, so that should work. And yeah, this is just a class we just created to filter the results, but we are not calling any of these method anywhere, so nothing will work just yet. So what we need to do is we need to just call this apply method. So that is this is the main method which is responsible for connecting everything in this class. So if you can see, so whatever we do in this class, like constructing this request, creating filters, creating these methods, so everything is connected through this apply method, because we are looping through filters and calling the method name which are here. Okay, so now let's call this apply method. So the perfect place to call that will be this query scope. So instead of this request, what we can accept is ThreadFilters. Okay, so we accepted this ThreadFilters, and we need to call that method apply, so which is on ThreadFilters, and we pass this filter query, so which will be the instance of the builder class, this class. And in our thread controller, instead of passing, yeah, you can call it, yeah, you don't need to pass this, so you need to pass ThreadFilters filters. Okay, so if you're finding it a bit difficult, I will just revise everything what we have done till now. Okay, so in our thread filter, we injected we just defined this method filter, this query scope filter, where we are passing the filter in object. So this will be the instance of thread filter class, so that we can use all the methods available here. All right, so after that we are defining this filter inside our thread models, that will be the query scope, and this parameter is the instance of eloquent query builder, so that is the default parameter, and this is the parameter which we passed here. Yeah, which we passed here. So we call the apply method on this thread filter class, which will execute all the according to the request. It will execute all these methods. So if in request we have these tags, it will just execute this. If it has user, it will execute that. Alright, so one more refactoring what we can do is, so this constructor and this apply method and this filter is common for all filters. So for in future, if we want to integrate the user filters or any post filters, this bit of code will be same. So only different thing will be, so this is the thread filtering, threads related filters, so that should remain in this thread filter class, and all other this code should go in any other class. So we can refactor that. What we can do is this should extend to some filter class which we haven't defined yet. So let's create that class. So let's create a new PHP class, name filter. Okay, so what we can do here, so pull members up, apply filters, request builder. Okay, so yeah, so we just cut that out and paste that into filter. So we migrated all the general code into our filter class. So in future, if you want to make a new filter, just create new class named user filters that will extend the filters, and just define the methods with which you want to filter. So yeah, so from now, if we want to filter our threads with popularity, we can call it popular and accept some value, and similarly we can pass that. Okay, you can taste everything is working fine. So just do this if you want to reuse your code and you have big project. For a small project, doing that scope filtering will enough. So that is all for this video. I'll see you in the next video.